Hello guys, I'm Tina Python and we're going to do lesson 12a, an accumulator and a counter in combination with while. So we're going to have an example where we add up numbers. We can call that an accumulator, or we could use any other name. It's a variable, so just name it. And also we're going to keep track of how many numbers we have entered, and we can call that a counter or any other name. So use an accumulator to sum up numbers entered by the user. So we can start and print. I'll come to sum up the numbers, and let's start and create a variable for the while loop. Let's call that one more. And we can have y for yes. And then we're going to create a variable for the sum So let's call the sum, that's the accumulator, and we'll set the sum to 0 so that we start at 0. And then we're going to have the while loop. So I'll write here, while one more then we're going to have the user enter a number. We can call that number. So here we need to have an indented variable. We'll call that one number. And we can have a float. Right. And what we can do to check what's happening, we can actually print the number to see that we have the number and to follow the process. And then we'll have our accumulator that we have named sum. So we can have sum equals the sum plus the number. So now here the user will enter a number, and here the sum plus the number will be assigned to the sum. So we start out putting the sum to 0. Here we have the input of a number, and here we add the sum and the number and assign that value to the sum. And if we want to follow what's happening, we can have print sum. And then we're gonna ask the user if the user wants to enter another number. So we'll have the one more. For one more number. What happened here? So one more, then we'll have the input enter y for one more number. So here, if the user enters y, the loop will go back up here, check what is the value of the variable called one more. If that variable is y, it's going to do the loop one more time, enter a number, print the number, add the number to the sum, and then print the sum. So the sum will then, the number will be added to the sum each time that we go through the loop. Yeah. So let's Control S and try this one. Oh, I'll start it again. I'll start a fresh one. Here. Enter a number. I'll enter 5. 5, 5, Y for another one. Enter a number 4. So I entered 4 and I get 4 plus 5, 9. And now I want no more number. I think we're going to change this to explain this 5. So print, we're going to have you entered and then the number. And here we can have the sum is now right, and then we can have end phrase. Okay, let's try this one again. Enter number 2. Y for another one, 7. The sum is now 9. Enter Y for another one. I'll enter 8. Get 17. No more numbers. So thanks and goodbye. All right. So yeah. And what we're going to do now is we're going to count how many numbers the user enters here. Suppose you want your program to keep track of how many numbers you have entered. Let's add another accumulator to the program. We can call it a counter. And if we count the number of numbers, how many numbers are entered, the program could also calculate the mean if you want to. So we'll recycle all this and add a counter. So here's the variable for the while loop. Here's the variable for the sum. And now we're going to have a variable for the counter. So we'll set it to 0 to make sure we start at 0. We can call that one a counter. Yeah. So now the counter is 0, and then every time that the loop runs through here, we want to add 1 to the counter. So we can put it here, counter, then we'll write counter plus 1. So we start on 0, and then first time add 1 to the counter, total is 1. Second time round, add 1 to the counter, so the counter is then set to 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we might as well calculate the mean, and we can do that when we have finished entering numbers. I mean, you could do the mean for every number if you want to, but let's do it after we have, let's do it at the end. So we can do print then we're going to have the sum divided by the counter. And we'll have a full stop as well. Now let's try it. Okay, can't see that one. Okay, so enter number. I'll enter 6. Enter Y for one more number. I'll enter 4. Then we have 10, one more number, yes please. Then I will enter 2. The sum is now 12. We've got 3 numbers, so the mean should be 4. So I'll stop here. No, the mean is 4. Thanks and goodbye. Right, and well, there's one more thing we should do. We should have the format so that we avoid having lots of decimals. So we can have that here. Format. And then it's comma and dot to F for 2 decimal places. Right, let's try that one. 4, 1, we have 5, one more, I'll have 2 to get 7, and then no more numbers, then it's going to be 7 divided by 3, right? So that one is then rounded to 2.33. Thanks and goodbye. Okay, so here are your exercises. So first one, write a program that helps the user working on demand on call to keep track of the total number of hours and days worked during a week. The user should enter hours worked during a day. The program should ask if the user worked another day that week. The program should display the number of days worked and the total number of hours worked. And exercise 2, write a program that helps to keep track of the user's budget. The program should ask the user for the monthly budget. Assign this value to a variable called budget, or whatever you prefer. Ask the user for the amount on the bill. And then your program should subtract, instead of accumulating, your program should subtract the amount on the bill from the budget, right? And then ask if the user wants to enter another bill. And when there are no other bills, present the total amount spent and how much is left of the budget. If the budget is overdrawn, inform the user. Right. So that's it for this lesson, and good luck with the exercises. Stop the program somewhere.